Wike's planned request for refund. Governor Wike names building after his wife. Rivers APC crisis deepens. Police investigate killing of youth leader by gunmen in Rivers State. WAEC raises security concerns as exam begins next week. On the foreign scene, another mass shooting in Serbia leaves 8 people dead. I am Kaladakuru Batbo. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Good morning. As President-elect, Bola Tinubu ended his 2-day official visit to Rivers State yesterday. He spoke about the varying interpretations many gave to his response to Governor Wike's request for a refund of the money spent for flyovers on federal roads in the state. As you may know, the President-elect had told the governor that he owed him nothing, a comment that sparked online conversation suggesting that the response may have political connotations. But speaking during the commissioning of the Justice Iche Ndu Magistrate Court Complex in Port Harcourt yesterday, the President-elect said he cannot commit himself to anything when his tenure has not started.
I am personally grateful to the man who brought me here. He didn't ask for a personal commitment. He asked for a policy commitment, which an incoming president has no authority to offer and approve. There can only be one president at a time. I cannot commit to expenditure on behalf of outgoing president when my tenure has not started.
The President-elect said the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, assuring all citizens that it will be fair to all. He also said his administration will ensure judicial reforms.
I take a different angle to what Wike has done here today. Is fighting corruption. To pay attention to their welfare. If you want fair dispensation of justice, you don't want them to operate in hazardous conditions. This is the way to fight corruption. Let's think value for value. We don't want our judges to play foul, to compromise justice. Not just the books, but do something. I promise you, we are going to review all of this in a policy think tank.
Earlier, Governor Nyesom Wike stressed the need for attitudinal change and maintenance of public facilities. He also charged the Chief Judge of the state to ensure proper maintenance of the building. The governor promised a monthly maintenance fee of 20 million naira.
I feel so bad that you do a structure like this. Come back here in the next 6 months. You ask yourself, why did I even embark upon this? Beautiful as it is, I hope in the next 6 months it will still be like this. When you enter into the courtrooms, their conditions will be working. Put it in your budget. I'm pleased with my successor. So each month you get 20 million naira to maintain this place. So we'll give you 1 year in advance for the maintenance of the structure.
Our correspondent reports that Governor Wike named a block in the newly inaugurated Justice Iche Ndu Magistrate Court Complex in the state after his wife, Justice Eberichi Nyesom Wike. He also named other blocks after some top judicial officers in the state. The governor said he decided to name one block after his wife so as not to leave office empty-handed, having named other structures after distinguished justices. Meanwhile, the APC governorship candidate in Rivers State, Onyeko, says only a compelling offer will make him withdraw his election petition from the election tribunal. Speaking on Arise TV, the Rivers APC candidate said the families of those who were killed during the election and the ordinary people of Rivers State must be considered as part of the offer to him.
The tribunal knows what it's meant to do, and we have judges who are of impeccable character standing there. I will be the governor of Rivers State. That much I'm certain about. Now, if somebody is offering me something that is different from this, it has to be fairly compelling to assuage the lives of those who died, to assuage those who were maimed, to assuage those who felt that their mandate was totally stolen.
Mr. Cole said he was absent at the commissioning of projects by the President-elect Bola Tinubu in Port Harcourt because he was not invited. He said Governor Wike did not also inform the APC in the state that he was inviting the President-elect. The APC governorship candidate also maintained that the deal between the APC presidential candidate and the Rivers State governor was unnecessary.
The personal basis between you and I, it's not something that I agree with, because I can assure you, you do not need this deal to win Rivers State. But he's much older than me. He's somebody who has a lot of understanding of politics. And there might be things, in fact, there are things that he sees that I would not see. Things that he has seen that enabled him to justify that he needed to go into a deal. But we have gone stage by stage. You don't need this deal to win.
In another development, Eferebo Omiete, who says is the acting chairman of the APC in Rivers State, has said that the executive committee of the party in the state has resolved to suspend Sam Ededegwa as secretary and Arlington Iwauju as the assistant publicity secretary of the party. In a statement, Mr. Omiete said the resolution followed an emergency executive committee meeting yesterday. The statement said Mr. Ededegwa and Mr. Iwauju have been suspended for their protest against the visit of the President-elect Bola Tinubu to the state via a letter dated May 1, 2023, which Mr. Omiete says demarketed the President-elect and the party in general. The statement also said the two men were suspended for alleged gross insubordination and misconduct by writing a letter in the name of the party without his consent and the approval as the acting chairman of the party in the state. The statement further said that the party in Rivers State received and fully participated in activities of the visit of the president-elect and were accorded full complement. It said with the suspension, Mr. Ededegwa and Mr. Iwauju ceased to be secretary and assistant publicity secretary of the party and urged the public not to have any dealings with the two men on behalf of the APC in Rivers State. Reacting to this, Mr. Iwauju criticized the statement, saying that Mr. Omiete is not acting for himself but drowning in the sea of betrayal with an alleged failed plot to sell off APC in Rivers State to the PDP. In a statement, Mr. Iwauju also said that the court order, which Mr. Omiete says he got, has long expired on the 19th of April 2023, and the case file returned to the Chief Judge of Rivers State for reassignment. Mr. Iwauju says it means that the court order no longer stands. He said the paragraph 2 of the court order requires that Mr. Omiete obtain an official ratification from the National Working Committee of the APC before his recent moves could stand. Mr. Iwauju also said the court order has also been challenged at the Court of Appeal. He said any statements or orders against any duly elected officer of the APC under Emeka Beke is an impostor who was suspended from the party for anti-party activities on the 3rd of April 2023 by the State Working Committee. Moving on, the Rivers State Police Command says it deployed personnel to different parts of the state to ensure effective policing. Spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringa-Koko, said this in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka.
The CP has deployed some tactical teams. We have already drawn our plan to ensure that the state is crime-free.
As you may know, there has been an increased presence of police personnel around Rumokoro Flyover, Obirikwere Flyover, Romigbo Junction, LHE Beach axis of Dube, East-West Road, and other areas. In another development, police say no arrests have been made as they investigate the killing of a youth leader, Matthew Ebenezer, by gunmen in Outer East local government area of Rivers State on Wednesday night. The spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Iringa-Koko, told our correspondent that the leader of the gang behind the attack has been identified. Earlier, the spokesperson of Akko Youth Congress, Ekiakito Hector, said the victim was the president of Abarikpo community in Akko Kingdom and was actively involved in the fight against cultism and other criminal activities in the community. Mr. Madi also said over 36 people have been killed in different communities in the area.
Comrade Matthew Ebenezer was shot dead yesterday night in his hometown, in his father's compound. Matthew is not somebody that condones any illegality. He's somebody that has been standing firm, fighting against all these cultists, against insecurity in his community. And I believe maybe that is one of the two things that might have brought to his death. When you talk of killings in both Afoda East and Afoda West, it has become a usual praise. Every day people does not sleep with their two eyes. Every day we record killings. As of last month, April, we had about 36 recorded.
Mr. Hector, however, called on security agencies and the chairman of Outer East and West LDAs to beef up security in the area. Recalled that the same community recorded a similar incident in February when a young mother of two, Chigbue Wejim Lawyer, was found dead weeks after she was whisked away from her home in Abarikpo community by suspected cultists. A widower, Steward Lawyer, had informed our correspondent that one AK John Iso Chikwe and their group broke into their home at around 1 a.m. on Sunday, January 12, 2023, abducted and killed his wife of 8 years. He said his wife was taken away after some women from the community told the suspected cultists that his wife spoke against them.
Omeka Alexander and his community women went to report my wife to Eso Chikwe, and Eso Chikwe called his boy, AK John. Eso Chikwe called him to escort him to go and kill my wife and others. I want to intervene in this matter. This Eso Chikwe and John Eto AK, that they should look for them to come and explain more about the death of my wife.
The late Chigbe Wejim Lawyer was 33 years old when she was allegedly raped and killed. She was working with N-Power in Gulkana, local government area. She was also the general secretary for the women's group in Abarikpo community. Still ahead, WAEC raises security concerns as exam begins next week. Stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back. Rumaolu Town Council in Obiakpa local government area of Rivers State says the boundary demarcation between the community and Elekpokwodu community at the Oyamba was done in favor of Rumaolu. A statement by the CDC chairman of the Rumaolu community, Okechukwu Victor Amadi, said the boundary demarcation was done by the Rivers State Surveyor General in line with the Supreme Court judgment of 1961 as directed by the Inspector General of Police. Mr. Amadi said both communities jointly agreed and brought the Surveyor General to define the boundary between them with a view to settling the lingering boundary dispute. He said he expected the people of the Elekpokwodu community to have thanked the Surveyor General for his efforts in bringing peace to both communities and not to cast aspersions on him. Mr. Amadi also called on elites in the Elekpokwodu community to advise their people properly on the Supreme Court judgment to avoid wasting time on media propaganda. The statement, however, thanked the Surveyor General and his team for working to ensure peace between both neighboring communities in Obiakpo, LGA. Parents of students in public schools in Obiakpo and Port Harcourt City local government areas in Rivers State say they still fund the expenses in their children's schools. Their claim comes after Commissioner for Education in Rivers State, Professor Mmom, said in January that the state government will provide the necessary learning materials to public schools in the state. But speaking with our correspondent, some parents called on the Rivers State government to give attention to the education of children in public schools.
The government is not helping us at all. The little money that government said they will bring into schools is not forthcoming. So we, the parents, have been trying those little children cannot call the class. So we only hire, who have money, we hire. Mostly the those sponsor those this thing. Don't have even one security man in that school. There's no money to pay the security man. The one that was there before will be paying. But since there's no money again to pay him, now the man left. We are handicapped. Don't know what to. The government should come and help us.
He came to my child. The look of things are still the same. As you can see, the children are running to the bush to ease themselves. They have toilets, but they don't have water. The government and the community should come to the aid of this school. They really need help.
Our correspondent visited some public schools in Obiakpo and Port Harcourt local government areas of Rivers State as schools resumed after the holidays. Many of the schools still lack desks and chairs, and some classrooms remain in bad shape. According to some of the teachers who spoke with our correspondent, the state government has yet to provide them with any learning materials. They said they have written to the local government chairman and the community about these issues, but have yet to get any response. The State Commissioner for Education is yet to speak on this. In other news, this year's West African Senior School Certificate Examination is to start on Monday, May 8 and run through Friday, June 23, a period of 7 weeks. Addressing newsmen in Lagos yesterday, the head of the West African Examinations Council WAEC National Office, Patrick Arigan, said the level of insecurity in the country is a concern as some areas require extra security arrangements. About 1.6 million candidates from over 20,000 secondary schools across Nigeria registered for the examination this year. The breakdown shows 49.25% of the candidates are male, while 50.75% are female.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Several people have been killed and at least 10 injured in the second mass shooting in Serbia in as many days. On the news this morning, you heard President-elect Bulletin has clarified in his response to Governor Wike's planned request for a refund. Governor Wike has named a building after his wife. Rivers' APC crisis has deepened. Police say they are investigating the killing of a youth leader by gunmen in Rivers State. WAEC has raised security concerns as exam begins next week. On the foreign scene, another mass shooting in Serbia has left 8 people dead. The news was edited by Chama Ezewafo. Rain expected in Port Harcourt this morning. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakuru Batibo. Good morning. Morning Crossfire continues with Ifemi Andrew. Stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info.